We need to talk about algorithms and how they manipulate us. The problem with social media has never been its users, it has been the algorithms manipulating these users. Somebody says something and gains a lot of influence for saying something that needs to be said, usually in relation to Palestine. Hence, Hillary Clinton's recent video calling for control of social media, which sounds to me more like a fascist statement than something from a putative Democrat. But I'm pointing this out because TikTok is about to change in a matter of days. The algorithm here is going to be manipulated in a way that will make this place seem deeply unfamiliar from what it is right now. And over the weekend on Threads, which is the Mark Zuckerberg version of Twitter, the algorithm changed for me and a number of leftists and progressives. Threads, oddly enough, for the last 6 months or so, had become a wonderful place where I found a lot of fellow leftists, some of whom are here on TikTok, and I followed them here. I felt less alone. I felt, oh, wow, my people are here. People who do believe in progressivism, but who are willing to call out corporate Democrats. And then this weekend, something changed. And it was Gavin Newsom dropping that podcast with Chipmunk Shapiro, right? And suddenly my entire Threads mentions were populated by people I had never heard of singing the praises of how great Gavin Newsom was and how great any corporate Democrat was, especially corporate Democrats who actually stood for Israel. It was extremely fucking sus, to say the least. I'm not sure if it's Zuck. I'm not sure if it's the DNC, because a lot of these users were brand new. I had never seen them before. And leftists who had achieved a remarkable sphere of influence on Threads were being attacked by all these fucking idiots. We kept calling them out for, Gavin Newsom's track record of being anti-trans, anti-homeless, etc. They were stubborn in a way that didn't seem real, that seemed very bot-like. And I suspect that Zuck or someone, or the DNC possibly in cahoots with Zuck, poisoned the Threads algorithm. Imagine that on steroids. And that is what is going to happen here on TikTok. Be extremely careful about what you say. These fucking algorithms are designed to turn us into ravening, vitriolic motherfucking monsters. And look, I'm not proud of some of the shit that I fucking said, but it drove me nuts. I let it stand as is. I became a victim of the algorithm. Most people who know me know that I'm largely a thoughtful person. Largely. Not always. And that's what we have to be very fucking careful about. The algorithm is the enemy of free expression. The algorithm is the enemy of truth that you need to hear. The algorithm is the enemy of vital priorities we need to take stock in before the midterms, in terms of how we vote, who we vote for, do we need to primary? These are all very important distinctions. And now that the primaries are coming up for the midterm elections, the DNC possibly is getting antsy and wants to manipulate us so we all turn on each other. We have to hold true to our values, which is someone who supports genocide, or someone who is anti-trans, someone who talks like a Republican, is probably not a Democrat who we should be sending into any kind of office. That is a perfectly rational and reasonable response, despite these fucking DNC bots or trolls or whatever the fuck they are. But someone who is smarter than me on the tech front needs to look into these accounts. Because if the DNC is potentially manipulating national discourse before the big election, yeah, I would, one, not be surprised, and two, it does need to be exposed.